How's it going, Dave and Comic Book Investments? So got some stuff back from CBCS and from CGC. So I figure I'd go through it and let you know what we got in this week. We're listing way more than we normally do. Normally I'd list about 70, 75 books a week that got back either from buying from people or from getting back from a grading company. But now we're ramping up. We're really ramping up to get through a lot of stuff that we have. If you haven't seen my previous video, I'm selling my personal collection as well. But yeah, so I think this time we listed probably like 150 brand new graded buy it nows up on our website, collectorscomics.com. Got a ton of good stuff. I'm not going to show it all. Like, this is probably just a small sample just because it'll take forever to get through all that stuff. Maybe one of these days I'll do an entire everything I get in for that week. But first I want to showcase number 55. These are CBCS books, and as you guys know, I have a promo code for if you ever want to send anything to CBCS, video 15 off. It's always in the description. And if you want 15% off any priority service, I've said this before, I'm doing kind of a test run with CBCS, seeing how it does. So first up is we got showcase number 55. I thought it would be, this one got a bad grade. I thought it'd be a 6.0, it got a 4.0, 129. Also got a ton of good stuff coming up pretty soon here. A lot of books I haven't had. Honestly, I have this Albaa number 2 right over here. Highest grade. I've had 2 Albaa number 2s in the past. That's interesting too. I'm trying to think. We had a 9.0. No. We had 8.5 and a 9.2. Silver Surfer number 14. That'll be a 6.0. Got a 4.5. 129. Not good again. Here we got same book, but this is in a 6.0. Thought it'd be a 7.0. Got a 6.0. Well, win some, lose some. This was not a good batch back from CBCS. Strange Tales 147. Wow, I thought it'd be a 9.0. Got a 7.5. Well. Let me see. Dang, this is really downgraded. No, it's not a 7.5. Let's see. Strange Tales 169. Thought it'd be a 4.0. Got a 5.5. 149. So all over the place. None coming back. Anything close to what I thought. Okay, now to some CGC stuff. Action Comics number 30. Pretty old Superman. Came back great. I was hoping for $11.99. Action Comics 54. I thought it'd be 3.0. Got a 4.0. That's good. $19.99. Good old Action Comics. Action number 61. That'd be 4.0. Got a 5.0. $14.99. Like a hair. There. I think I got it. Spider-Man number 4. That'd be 2.5. Got a 3.5. $10.99. All these are coming back good grades. First Scorpion, Spider-Man number 20. That'd be 4.5. Got a 4.5. $5.49. Ow. First Rhino number 41. I hit myself like right on the tip. Came back great. I wanted $8.99. Sorry, I'm just gonna kind of fly through these. We have a lot to go through, or I'll just be here all day. Spider-Man 129. First appearance of the Punisher. That'd be 3.5. Got a 4.5. $919. I don't know. Sometimes $919. Batman 72. That'd be 6.0, got a 6.0, $12.99. Brave and Bold, number 57. That'd be an 8.0, got an 8.0, $5.99. This is the first appearance of Metamorpho. I had this book as a kid. I have no idea why I liked him. I couldn't even tell you why. I had this one, and then I got this one, and then I was like, ooh, I want his first one. So then I got Metamorpho number 1. I remember working for that book and wanting it and getting it. I think maybe, like, my dad would always give me this, like, random book sometimes, and he must have just, like, I, like, work for him, and we'd be like, oh, here you go, you know. And then I got this one, and then I was like, ooh, now I want number 1. And so, because this was his first appearance. So, yeah, I remember getting that. Captain America 117, first appearance of Falcon. That'd be an 8.0, got 7.5, $4.29. Slide down. Classic Comics or Comics Illustrated, number 1. This is the first one, 3 Musketeers. Now, what they do with this book is, it's called Hearn, H-R-N. It's basically a reprint. And so it was originally called Classic Comics, and they came out with a handful, and then they're like, oh, why don't we just reprint them? Because they're classic stories, and so people always want them and read them back in the day. So they just reprint them, and they'd call them Hearn something, H-R-N. I don't know exactly what it stood for. I'm sure someone in the comics will let me know. And for the longest time, people would always get confused because it always looks similar. And then probably maybe like a few years into their comic series, they decided to change from Classic Comics to Comics Illustrated or Classics Illustrated, Illustrations. Classics Illustrated, I think it was called. And basically they just kept on reprinting the same books and everything. So it was kind of like, they reprint them all the time, like every couple of years. So this one would, 3 Musketeers would be reprinted multiple times, probably like 9 or 10 times every like 3 to 4 years. So it's just like, they can constantly come out with new comics, but they're really not new. They're the same ones that came out just a few years prior. And they did this all the time. They had hundreds, I think in the hundreds of these books, and then they would just reprint those over and over and over. So a lot of times the way you looked at it is what Hearn it was or what reprinting was. Sometimes on the inside cover, sometimes on the back, you could tell. Back inside cover, they would list other books that they had. So they would like, oh, these are all the other books we have, and it would show you up until like issue number like 20. And so then you knew this was Hearn 21. And then maybe you'd look at it again and it would show you like 100 of them. And so you knew if it showed you 100 or whatever the number was, 130 or 136, this book or whatever you had was the one after that. So if it was 136, you would be Hearn 137, just the one book right after. So this is the very first one. Very complicated back in the day. A lot of people didn't really understand it and very confusing and all this kind of stuff. But then once the internet came around and everyone could see pictures and you're like, oh, this is what they look like. And you can see pictures of every single different one and they're slightly different. So it's like second printing, I think it's like missing the 10-cent thing, I think what that is. And then like the third printing, there's like something a little different. And then by the fourth printing, it changed it from Classic Comics to Classic Illustrated, I believe. And then it would change the banner from like orangish, red, yellowish to green. And there's always a little something different about it in every little printing. I need to tell you the price. Came back great. I was wanted $19.99. First appearance of Calendar Man. I know nothing about Calendar Man, but I'm kind of curious why he has a son and he's on fire. Thought it'd be a 5.5, got a 5.0, $7.99. Detective 359. Thought it'd be a 5.0, got a 4.5, $5.99. Fantasy War 52. Thought it'd be 7.5. Got a 6.5. 9.49. Flash Gordon from 1936, prior to Superman. Thought it'd be a 2. I'll go to 2.5. 11.99. Whoop. Green Lantern number 2. That'd be 8.5. Got the 8.5. 11.99. Mad number 1. That'd be a 3.0. Got a 3.5. 22.99. Marvel Comics 87. That came back great. I wanted $12.99. What is it? I think this is the start of New Funnies. Yeah. So this started New Funnies. I think it was called The Funnies before. This is the second appearance of Woody Woodpecker, though. And Bugs Bunny. Not second appearance of Bugs Bunny. It just this said Bugs Bunny was in it. What is this? New Funnies. $14.99. Strange Tales 110 first. Doctor Strange. That'd be a 2.5. Got a 3.0. $16.99. Superman 18. Came back right. I was hoping for $14.99. Come on, lock in place. Oh, this one doesn't want to lock in place. Superman 40. Nice high grade of this. That'd be 8.0. Got an 8.5. $11.99. Tales from the Crypt, number 35. Thought it'd be an 8.0. Got an 8.5. $18.99. And last in this little batch, first appearance of Black Widow. You know, now you can't see him. First appearance of Black Widow, Tales of Suspense 52. Came back great. I was hoping for $11.99. All right. This one. So like I said, I've been selling a couple that were in my PC personal collection. They'll be slowly drifting throughout every time I do these videos as I get more in, things like that. So yeah, I'll be doing more stuff. I'll try to remember to notate it if it was from my personal collection. Maybe, you know what I should do? I should get my own custom label and say the Comic Book Investment Personal Collection label, pedigree. You know, and I can have it like big old and flashier, and I can put my website all over it, and then maybe some other things back here, talking about all about it. That's what I should do. I should have my own label. No, I shouldn't. Albaa, number 2. This one, Steve Galacci, I believe his name is, I want to say Galacci. I don't know. Galacci. I don't know. Anyways, he created this book, not created the character, but created the Albaa book. And I got it from his own personal copy. And here is a little rabbit he drew on the packaging. So I guess, you know, and it says the winner, Steve Galacci, down here. This is the packaging it came in with my address on it. My old address, anyways. But yeah, so I'll include this. Obviously, I won't include the addresses, but I'll include this for whoever wants to buy this book. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'll put this over here. Prepare for a very, very expensive book. Here it is. 80 grand. 80 grand. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, that's way too expensive. I think the last one sold for like $31,000 a couple of years ago. These books are super, super rare. Probably won't ever really see one. And I've had pretty high offers around this price. Hence why I'm putting it at this price. I didn't just come up with it out of thin air. I had offers obviously a long time ago when I got this book. Those offers, I don't know if they even still stand, if I even tracked down those people, whoever they were. But I had offers around this price. So that's why I'm putting it at this price. So we'll see. We'll see what happens to this book. I don't know. Hopefully we sell it. Maybe someone will want it so much because they get this little rabbit drawing that they'll pay me $300,000 for it. You don't know. You don't know. And maybe if I get that custom label, the Comic Book Investments custom label, I could sell it for, I don't know, what's a mile high? Mile high is usually about like maybe two times the normal. So if you have like a normal 9.8 versus a mile high 9.8, it's like 2x, sometimes 3x. I would think a Comic Book Investments pedigree, which would be me, should at least be 8 to 10x. So this is worth, let's say the last one sold for $31,000. Let's say it's a little more than that. Plus you get this drawing in it with my old address on it. That's, at least 2x on there. Then the rabbit drawings, another 2x. So, you're looking about 1.52 million, somewhere around there. That's what it's worth. That is what it's actually worth. There. You want to know? That's how it goes. All right. Another one from my PC. Hero for Hire, #1, first appearance of Luke Cage. 7,999. This is second highest grade. Now, man, if I had a 9.8 of this book, you're looking at you're six figures. That is a six-figure book because that tough black cover. It's a gorgeous book. Gorgeous, gorgeous book. Just has the tiniest little thingy. Hey, hair on there. My hair. So now this is not only the Comic Book Investment pedigree, but it also comes with an official hair from me. So that's at least 10x there. So, it just has the tiniest. It's so nice. Has a little bit of like overspray, distributor overspray, a couple spine dings, but yeah, it's just this bottom corner. Oh, and there's a little. No, that's part of the. Yeah, just a tiny little corner. Mostly why it's 9.6. Gorgeous book. Fantastic. I got that a long time ago. Casper, #1. First appearance of Casper. He's a friendly ghost. Came back great. I wanted 6,499. See, a lot of things is, I remember I was trying to price this book, and I think there was one that sold. I can't remember when it sold, but I remember seeing a 9.6, and it was like, what did its price at? 64, whatever. It was like a 6.0 or something like that, and it sold for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 or 5,000 or something like that. A lot less than I'm pricing this 7.0. But the thing was, I was like, wait a minute, I could have swore I sold one like a 6.5 of this book recently. And so, because here's the thing, is I'll do deals with people, and it doesn't go on the GPA. Like, it's all just like people reach out and they're like, hey, I want your book. And they're like, okay, let's work it out. So there's no tracking. There's no tracking of the book. And I sold a 6.5 for slightly under the price that I'm listing. I think it was like $6,000 or something like that. I have it written down. But I sold it back in 2022, I believe. In the beginning of 2022. I'd have to look at it. It's all written down. But yes, so it's like there's a lot of deals that happen that aren't on the GPA. And so a lot of people are like, oh, it's worth X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, well, technically, I sold a book just like this. This is a slightly lesser grade. That's why I had two. And we kept the higher grade. And we sold the lower one. And yeah, so it's like, well, no, I know what it's worth. It's funny. It's like I'll get in arguments with people. Not like, I remember like this other dealer, he like called me and he's like, he wanted one of my books. And he's like, oh, I want your book. And he's like, I'll give you X for this book. And I was like, it was like $3,000 under what I wanted. He's like, look, the last one just sold for this price. And I already have one, and it's, and so I don't really need it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Then don't buy it. But he's like, last one sold for this price. He's like, and I'll come up to that price. And I'm like, no. And he's like, how long has it sat? And I was like, well, I've only had it for like 6 months. He's like, see, it's sat too long. He's like, I'm like, no. I was like, I know what it's worth. I know. I'll just sit and wait. And eventually, I told him, I was like, come back to me in like 6 months to a year from now. And if it hasn't sold by then, because it was an older Golden Age book and it takes a while to sell. And I was like, come back to me later. And if it sells, if it's still for sale, I'll negotiate, because I've only had it for like 3 or 6 months. I can't remember. Not very long. Not long enough for this time. It wasn't like a Spider-Man 1. And so he's like, okay. And I've had this multiple times. Like, dealers do this to me. They're always like, oh, it's only worth this. This is like I'm like, do you know who you're talking to? I am a dealer. I know what these are worth. I know, like, the market. That's my job. And eventually, like, literally like 2 months later, sold for full asking price. And it's like, yeah, I know. It's like, sometimes they'll show up on the GPA if someone just comes up and straight up asks, pays full asking price. But other times people like contact me and just work out a deal, and it won't show up on the GPA. So it's like, you have to understand that selling comic books, like if it's a common book, like if you have a Spider-Man 252, you know exactly what it's worth, because there's so many out there. But when it comes to the rare books, that's where it's hard. That's where it's really hard. Like the Albaa #2. The Luke Cage #1. Like, that'll be easier because there's probably more sales on it. But the Albaa 2, not that many sales. Not that many sales of this. And then you go and check, like, compare prices. Say you list it on eBay or wherever you list it. It's like, okay, let me compare what else is out there. It's like, oh, they got a 1.5 on eBay, and that's it. It's like, well, this is like a 7.0. It's like worlds apart. So, and 7.0 is like getting towards like I think it's like third highest grade, maybe. I have it, something, or somewhere up there. So it's like, then it gets even more sticky, and then, yeah. So that's like the hard part. And then, as a dealer, you just got to know what it's worth. And wait. Horrific, #1. This is another PC. I love old horror covers. I do. I just do. And they, even when you try to do them today, like you just tried to do, like, a horror book today, it doesn't translate as well. And I mean translate like as the coolness factor. There's just something about, like, back then when they did these drawings, like, I can't really explain it. Like, now they're too polished. It's like you do a gruesome thing, it's like, who cares? But when they're doing a gruesome thing, like, this is like the most gruesome thing they've ever done, or like the only thing they're pioneering this stuff. It's like, now it's like, it's been done to death. I've seen like so many of that stuff that's done now. And I don't know, it's just like, there's something about like old Golden Age artists that, I don't know, I can't really explain it. I'm trying to like figure out. It's just not, yeah, but I don't know what it is. Something about this, the way the Golden Age art is, just speaks to me. I wasn't even around then. So, I don't know, but I love it. Like Matt Fox, like, if I had a ton of money to blow, and and I could afford to, I would definitely get those like Chilling Tales, Matt Fox art. I don't know, it's just so weird and creepy. Really love it. And Crime Suspense Stories 22. Although the one piece of art I really, really want, I mean, I'd love to have that. I don't even know if it exists anymore. Is Detective 880 by Jock, and Swamp Thing 1, Bernie Wrightson. I just love those covers. And I know the Swamp Thing 1 exists, and I know the Detective 880 exists. But very expensive, very expensive. I do not have that kind of money, nor even if I did happen to have that dollar amount, I could not afford to buy it, because I probably should be buying other things. What is this? Horrific #1. 6.5, 6,999. That was in the PC. There's another one in the PC, and you might be like, this is not rare, David. Well, it's like Invincible. You never know where it's going to go. I love the TV show. I've been watching it. I know they're making a movie on top of that. This could be one of those books that just, 10 years from now is worth a ton of money if Invincible just keeps taking off and off. So that's why I wanted to keep it, but I cannot. So, $37.99. Here we go. This is a dud of a book that I was like, it's going to be so great. Oh, blah, blah, blah. and it did not pan out at all. Yeah, this book got really hot, and then the MCU started being crappy, and then they came out with that Riri, and everyone's like, this is what the TV show is going to be about, and they're like, no, thank you. And now the Ironheart TV show has been like delayed, and I'm pretty sure it's just going to fade away. I don't think they're actually going to make it. I think it's actually some of it's filmed, but they also filmed most of Daredevil, and they just canned that for now, and they're going to reshoot it. So they might just can Ironheart. I mean, they did that with Batgirl. Warner Brothers did, because sometimes it's like, it's better just to take the L and money instead of coming out with something that's going to even more damage the brand, and people will say, oh God. So yeah, so not looking good for this one, although I do like the cover. $1,000. This book used to be like $4,000 or $5,000 not too long ago. Now it's $1,000. Here's a CBCS book. Tales of the Astonished 35, signed by Stan Lee himself. Yes, Stan the man. $14.99. Put that over there. It's not going to link up with these. A couple of these were in my PC. I love Gambit. A whole Gambit tattoo right here. Newsstand, $22.79. I still think this is great. That's a good long-term book. These are not part of my PC. Tomb of Dracula number 10, First Blade. They came out with a Blade trailer for a movie. Or not a movie, sorry, a video game. Not the movie yet, though. I thought it'd be 7.0, got 7.5, $12.69. Ooh, win a GI boyfriend. Ooh, I definitely want to see that. All right, True Love Pictorial, number 11. Thought it'd be a 3.5, got a 5.5, so hey. $3,499. Matt Baker cover. People love Matt Baker. I believe he was the first African American comic book artist. X-Men 3. That'd be a 5.0. I got a 6.0. $10.99. And Matt Baker, he died really young. I want to say like 36, somewhere around there. Died of heart something, like a heart attack or heart failure or something, like dust or something on me. Yeah, died very, very young. A lot of those old comic book artists were like big smokers, and so a lot of them died from like smoking related diseases. X-Men 12 First Juggernaut came back great. I was home for it. $9.39. Man, this book's dropped a bit. That is it. All the stuff is on collectorscomics.com. Hope you like this video. If you see anything here, let me know. Head over to collectorscomics.com. Check it out. Have a great day.